This is Andi Purewal for ID Boxing. I'm joined by Matt Macklin here in Manchester. Matt, firstly, congratulations. You're now a father. How's it treating you?
Yeah, good. I mean, best thing ever. You know, you can't explain it. But like I say, this the not getting too much sleep. So I'm glad to be away for a few days. I used to hate sleeping in hotels, but I'm like, you know, I'll sleep tonight, definitely.
I don't think your missus will appreciate you saying that one, Matt, but here we are. Okolie, like Lawrence Okolie's first fight back under the Sky banner. What do you expect to see in this fight?
Well, I hope that he goes out and makes a statement and gets a knockout win, and then everyone's raving about him, and then we can look forward to fights with Riakporhe and Billam Smith. But I think he's just got to make sure he doesn't. Well, and I say make sure because it's the hardest thing to guard against complacency, but it's, you know, that he doesn't look past him or he doesn't try too hard to make that statement and then loads up and, you know, starts forcing things, and it can go, because, you know, he has had some untidy performances. So I think it's crucial that he just tries to relax, don't overthink it, just get the jab going, find that distance, because he's got dynamite power in that right hand when he chops it over. So I think as long as he can establish the jab, find that range, find that distance, I think it's a matter of time then before he lands the right hand.
There's obviously all that talk of a domestic scene and the potential other unifications out there. You've got CBS fighting back in Bournemouth on May 27th. Alongside that, you've also got Jaya Pattaya out in the other side of the world. You've got Gulamarian, who's linked with that CBS fight. Richard Riakporhe back here. Beyond Saturday night, what would you like to see next for Lawrence Okolie?
Yeah, one of those fights, you know, Billam Smith or Riakporhe. Or if not, you know, obviously if you got the option to fight for a unification, then that would supersede it, you would imagine. But if that doesn't happen, then one of those guys, Billam Smith or Riakporhe.
Matt, just with Lawrence Okolie, one of the biggest kind of talking points around him over his past couple of weeks has been the back and forth between himself and Eddie Hearn. What have you made of their conversations and what's been said in the media?
No, I thought Eddie did a great job with him. You know, I thought Eddie put him on some big shows, got him a lot of exposure, got him the title fights, and did what was his job to do. I think Eddie did his job well, but you know, Lawrence did his job. You know, he won the fights. A couple of the performances weren't always the best to watch, but he got the wins, and he went through those title wins pretty quickly. Well, not pretty quick, very quickly for a guy who didn't really, even though he had the Olympic pedigree, he didn't have a long-standing amateur background. So there was, you know, he was still a work in progress. It's a shame when relationships sour in boxing, because they had a good journey together. They achieved a lot together. They both played their parts in their roles, and you know, it's a shame. It's unfortunate when things don't work out, but you know, from our point of view, I work for Sky, and I'm looking forward to calling these fights. I'm glad he's back on Sky, and especially the fact that Billam Smith and Riakporhe are with Sky. Then, you know, the world title shot really is the missing ingredient to getting those little round robins going.
Matt, a division above one which we could see Lawrence Okolie in the near future is that of the heavyweights. Fury-Usyk, before that from Matt, it's on, it's off, it's on, it's currently off. I just want to get your take on everything that's happened in the last 24 to 48 hours.
Just frustrated and, you know, tired list of like, you know, it's like Errol Spence and Crawford. You know, the last weekend there was the UFC in London, and I'm not an MMA fan, but I try. You know, I have the guy who I have a couple of PTs with. He fought MMA, and you know, a couple of the lads are in the gym, and they're all running about this fight. And Leon Edwards from Birmingham, and they're excited and they're raving because the best are fighting the best. And you know, we've got like Errol Spence and Terence Crawford who are no spring chickens. You know, they're not on the way up. They're probably maybe their best days are behind them. At best, they're in their peak, the pump. That fight should happen. What is stopping that fight happening? You know, Fury-Usyk, you know, Fury-AJ hasn't happened. You know, Fury has fought Wilder 3 times, fair play to him. But then, you know, Usyk and AJ fought each other twice. You know, so it's just, we don't know the ins and outs, but it looks like Fury's the reason. He looks like the guy who's unreasonable in the negotiations. You know, it seems like he's the one who keeps moving the goalposts. You know, Team Usyk agree to his demands, and then there's more demands, and eventually at some point then talks are just going to break down and people are going to go different directions. And I just think from a fan's point of view, people are fed up. And from a sports point of view, we have to be careful. Everyone in and involved it, because we keep shooting ourselves in the foot. No wonder other sort of combat sport fans are going to move over to MMA, because the best are fighting the best. Between sanctioning bodies and fights not getting made, the casual fan, they're finding it hard to keep up with. We're involved, we're immersed in boxing. Sometimes we find it hard to keep up with what's going on.
Matt, one thing you mentioned that you feel that maybe it looks like Tyson's being unreasonable out of the two of them. With that in mind, a lot of people have been talking about who's come out looking worse. Would you currently say it's Tyson who looks worse out of the two currently?
I think so. Yeah, I think I've always been a big Tyson Fury fan. I've always thought, how could you not be? But I think he's the one who's coming out of this looking at he doesn't look good. He seems like the one who's unreasonable here, not Usyk.
Matt, I saw a certain Liam Smith spoke to him myself earlier, and there's kind of a sense of unhappiness around him. I think it's more so because he wants a date now. He beat Eubank Jr. He thought the rematch is on. Still up in the air. Talks of a kind of Benn fight for Eubank Jr. as well. What do you think, or what do you know that is the current situation around Liam Smith?
I don't know, but he beat Eubank obviously before. There was the rematch clause. He probably just wants to know what's going on, because it's been a couple of months now. He wants to crack on with his career. He's in a strong, share price is high, isn't it? Coming off the back of a big win. So if the rematch with Eubank isn't happening, he probably just wants to know where he stands so he can crack on and make plans.
What are your thoughts on the reports of a potential Benn Pacquiao fight?
No comment.
That's fair enough, Matt. And we will leave that there now. Leave it up to shoot off and get some sleep. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Oh, cheers. Nice one. Cheers.